I'm going to start off this video by saying we listen but we don't judge. So I'll kindly ask you to just listen to the story, don't judge. And also, it's not polite to judge if you've never ever been in a certain situation. And also remember, tables turn. Not wishing anybody bad, but this world is wicked and it's not fair to anybody. Tables turn. So if your tables turn and you actually find yourself in a certain predicament, trust me, you would do just about anything. And if you're not well trained, like if you're not self-trained, if you're not self-disciplined, you would resort to anything, trust me. So I'm gonna share, I don't know if you guys have watched my video, the time when I quit my job and the challenges and difficulties I was facing. If you haven't, please go to my channel and watch, and then you know why I'm talking about what I'm talking about right now. So the normal thing or the expected thing for someone to do when they quit work is to start job hunting, right? Start applying for work again so that you can find another job. And this is what I started doing first. This was my main priority. Nothing else was in my mind. I also have like business ideas because of certain talents that I have. But you know, business requires resources. So if you don't have resources, how do you start it up? Job hunting was a priority on my list. It was at the top of the list. I wasn't thinking of anything else. And I did get some interviews. I remember the first interview I got, it was for administrative officer, which was a very, very good job opportunity, but the pay was low and it was lower than what I was getting. So I turned it down because I thought, I mean, something better might come up. I thought to myself, I think I should take it up, but what if when I start this job and a better opportunity and a better pay comes up, and then I leave this employer and this employer will just think I'm disorganized. I didn't want to put myself out there like that, like, this girl is all over the place, like she just started work and then she's quit. So I turned it down, and later on I regretted because I never got a job after that. It took me a whole year for me to find another job. I got lots and lots of job offers, except the pays were too low, so I kept on turning them down. I once even accepted a certain job offer and started working for that organization. It was a debt collecting organization, but after some time I quit because I didn't like the way they did their work. I didn't like their work culture. So all my life, even though it wasn't in my plans for me to be in this career path or in this field, all my career life, ever since I completed my university, I've just been finding work in customer service. But whilst I was working as a customer server, there were times when we would be asked like to carry out debt collection to customers that are in arrears, and we used to do it professionally. But at this organization, we were being told you need to be harsh, you need to be stern, you need to be firm. I'm like, I know I'm firm, I know I'm confident, and I know I can do it professionally. I don't need to be harsh to collect debt. And this employer was like, we are collecting debt on behalf of other organizations, so you can't afford to be nice. People, I tried to be harsh, but it's not like I was shouting or insulting or being vulgar or anything. I was just, like using a firm voice and threatening, but in a professional manner. Like you say, you say, I'm just trying to help you. Like, settle your debt, dude. If you don't, we're gonna take legal action, and none of us would want you to be in that spot, like for us to take legal action. And even after I speak in a firm voice and I throw all the threats, of course in a professional manner. For me, I never ever like went out of line, but others would. The colleagues that I found there, the old folks that I found there. So I found this hard for me because I was like, I can't do this. And the pay was too low, and I was being told you have to be paid like 2 months after. I'm like, why? And they're like, no, that's what our terms and conditions are. So you would find that I'm talking to a customer. I felt that, okay, here, I have threatened. And then here comes my supervisor, and they're like, that was nothing. You are still too nice. And I'm like, how harsh do you want me to get? So that's what turned me off. I'm like, no, I can't work in such an environment. Like, I'm used working professionally. I can't be here like insulting people. So I went for this certain interview. It was for a social media something. But I was supposed to be like in charge of social media, running it and managing a team on social media and running the social media platforms and all that. So I was interviewed for that position. Honestly speaking, I'm not. It's it's not that I wouldn't do a position like marketing or something like that. I can do it, but it's not my passion. Like, it's not my passion for me to do things like marketing and all that. So it's like this employer saw through me and she was like, not that I wouldn't do it, but I think she was just looking for certain qualities. So she was like, you know what, Kat? You're a very beautiful woman. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, thank you. She was like, you're very beautiful. Have you ever considered modeling? And I was like, dude, that has been my dream. I've always wanted to be a model, but I've never given it a chance here in my country, Zambia, because they don't pay much. And I need to sustain myself. I can't be depending on a commission-based job. So I need a job that will sustain me. And she was like, how would you feel if I employed you as a model instead of this position that I was interviewing you for? I was like, girl, I don't mind. Well, it depends with the pay, but I don't mind. That's actually something that I've wanted to do. And she was like, please, if you don't mind, let me take a photo. Let me take photos of you. She took photos of me. I waited, but there was no response after that. So I was just like, fuck it. I'll only talk about one last interview that I attended and that offended me. Well, I was glad I wasn't called back at that organization, because I was like, even if these guys call me, if I get this job opportunity, I'm not gonna go there. They were interviewing me and they were so unprofessional. It looked like a big organization, but they were unprofessional. And the entire time I was being humiliated. Like, I'm explaining myself, and then they're like, and some are making weird gestures. And then I was asked a certain question that offended me. They were like, what church do you go to? I told them, and they were like, So I was just like, what the hell? What kind of an organization is this? If they call me, I'm not going to go, because they've shown to say they're actually a very toxic organization. Now imagine working in such an environment. Online games. We said we listen, we don't judge, isn't it? I used to see online games even before I quit work, and I tried playing one of the games once, but then I lost interest. I was like, I don't think this shit works. So there are those online games where you like play games and you get paid for it. And for some, they say they actually do pay real money. Guys, I got in a fix. Like, I was stranded. I didn't have rentals. I didn't know what to do. I was like, God, what am I gonna do? I didn't know who to turn to. Well, of course, I had a partner by then who was helping me out with everything, but in this moment I was trying to like get myself out of that situation and not depend on my partner, because I just didn't want to like make this person think I was using them. I actually wasn't. I actually genuinely cared about this person, but I also just wanted to be independent. Like, I just wanted to be independent and not depend on someone. I'm the type of person who actually doesn't like depending on other people. I feel like I stress them out a lot. So when I was in this fix, I didn't even reach out to any of my family members like, guys, I quit my work and I'm in this situation. I'm the type who likes to handle things on my own, and I'm used. No matter how difficult the situation is, I would rather just help myself out of it. I don't like depending on people. I was like, you know what? As I'm waiting for a solution, let me try these online games, because each time I like racing games, but specifically motorbike racing games, not cars. So like when you're playing a game and there are ads that pop up and they're like, these games, online games, they pay money. So I downloaded one of them that looked, like legit, and I played it and I won some money, but the money needed to be paid in my PayPal. And I was like, I had a PayPal account a long time ago and I deleted it. So I recovered my PayPal account, and the money reflected in my PayPal account. I was like, God, isn't this you, God? So manje, time to withdraw this money from my PayPal account. I had to send it to my FMB, but it was failing. The money was failing to get sent into my bank account. So I had to contact my bank account, and I was like, I have this money in my PayPal account, but it's not coming to my account. And then they were like, PayPal doesn't work yet in Zambia. And I was like, what? Are you serious? They were like, yes, PayPal doesn't actually work in Zambia yet, and it's something that we're trying to work on. And I was like, why can't it just work for me? So I was playing online so I was playing online games, guys, until I got disappointed. Online dating, guys. That's what I was saying. Listen and don't judge. Especially for me, when I'm in a tough situation, I always come up with solutions. I'll think about anything, but not just about anything, like something that would put me in trouble or is life threatening to me or something evil. So I started thinking, and I am a big thinker. I started thinking, I was like, how is it that some people get lucky, like when they start dating online? Like, they get these rich men and these rich men marry them. How do people get this lucky? So I was like, let me give it a try. So I opened up an online dating thing. Like, I downloaded an online dating app. I put up my pictures, I put up a profile, I described myself in my profile. I started getting responses. I was like, why can't I just be one of those lucky people and testify like the way these other women testify? Like, no, I met my hubby on an online dating app and now we're married. I'm African, but now I'm married to a white man and we now live in, I don't know, in Asia. I was like, why can't I be one of those lucky ladies? So I was getting a lot of responses. I didn't know like how to filter out who was genuine and who wasn't genuine. But there was this one guy, my type. I was like, okay. I started talking to that guy. No, first of all, before we go to that guy, I started talking to this German man. And he seemed authentic. Like, he was sending me pictures of him being in the office. He was like, babe, now I've knocked off. He was even calling me babe. I was like, okay, so this relationship, it's a relationship now, eh? I'm now home. He would send me a picture. I'm home. I'm now making what? I was like, okay. So this guy was like, I want to date you for real. So let me send you my WhatsApp number so that we can be talking on the app and not here on the dating side. And we started talking on WhatsApp. Yeah. And then there was something that we started talking about. And then I think it scared him away because I don't know if he thought I was a scammer. So he blocked me. And I'm like, but why? So I have two WhatsApp numbers. One is for business. So I texted him on my business and I was like, maybe there was a misunderstanding, but I meant this and this. And he blocked me on that one as well. So I was like, wow, am I ever going to be lucky? So now back to that guy that I met on the dating app that I started talking to again. It was actually a black guy and he was actually in my country. And we started talking and it went well. And then this guy now tells me to say, it's very, very good looking. I'm not even sure if that was like him on the picture or it was just a photo from somewhere else. But he actually even called me. Yeah, and the voice was like kind of tallying with his face. I was like, if that's your face, then you're really, really nice because your voice. That's what I thought in my head. So I told him about myself. Like, I recently just quit work and I'm looking for work. And then he goes like, you know what? I actually do some sort of work. And I was like, isn't this God? Like, I've just told someone that I'm looking for work. He might just connect me. Maybe he has a company and I might just start working for him. So this guy goes like, I sleep with women and I pay them 5,000 every day and more. Sure, you are shocked as me, right? Or maybe you're not shocked. Because some people, some things are not shocking. They'll be like, girl, you should have gone for it. So I was like, what? So I stopped responding to this guy. I stopped responding to this guy. And I sat down and I started thinking, I was like, this is nonsense. Like, is this the devil coming after me because he's seeing how I'm struggling and the fix that I'm in? But I thought about it. I was like, if I had to do this maybe just one time, if he paid me what he's saying, it would be enough, like for my rent or even for like 2 months. That's what I was thinking to myself. I had to sit down and think about it. And then I was like, this is not me, guys. And then I thought, I was like, what if it doesn't even go as I'm thinking it would? What if this person is a ritualist and they just kill me and that's it? And I'm gone. So I had to stop myself. Not because I was scared of being killed, but I was just like, this is not me. And sometimes as a human being, if you do that one time thing, it would end up becoming a regular thing. So I just stopped responding to this guy. After some time, I just came into realization to say maybe I might never even get a job. Or maybe it would take time for me to get this job because the world out here had changed. It wasn't like the way it was when I got my first job, where we were meeting genuine people and they would actually recognize your qualifications and that if you are employed, you would actually deliver in the organization. The world had changed. It was all about connections. And I had no connections. My only connection is God, and my only connection was God. So I was just there wishing now. I'm like, I just wish I could meet a good man. Not that I want to use him, but I just wish I could meet a good man, like, who'd just take care of me and just genuinely, like, care about me. And maybe I just become a wife. That's what I stayed thinking. Oh my goodness. I was just thinking, but I wasn't there, like, hunting for men. But along the way, I was ill. I went to the hospital. And I don't know, each time I go to the hospital, why people make advances at me. I don't know if I can say it's weird, but people always made advances at me, asking me out and all those things. So I met this certain lab technician. He was nice, can't complain. Nice, humble looking guy. He was like, the test results will take time. So I'm gonna ask. I think that was just a strategy of him having my number. It was like, this test result is gonna take time, maybe 24 hours. So let me just have your number. So I tell it to you. I gave him my number. He told me the test results the following day, and he diverted. He started talking about other things, like you're very beautiful. When I saw you yesterday, I couldn't help it. I just had to get your number because I didn't know if I would ever see you. You're very beautiful. I want to date you. Like, I want to seriously date you. That was weird because it was weird when I thought about it. But after some time, I also thought to say, I've heard people say the older you get, especially for men, the older men get, even women, the older you get, like, there's no beating around the bush. You just tell each other, like, yo, I want to marry you. So I was like, I think I've reached that age where people are now telling me, like, because he was telling me I want to date you and I think and feel you're a good person. So I'm just not dating you for games. I want to marry you. How many kids do I have? I was like, I was wishing for a partner. Here comes this partner. So I even like said, thinking, I think maybe this guy is a very good guy and we might end up actually being together. So he was how old was I by then? I was 20 something and he was 33. I've forgotten if I was 20 what, but he was 33. So I think maybe he was 5 years older or 6. One of the two. I've forgotten. Unless if I remember the year that was. So he's like, how many kids do you want to have? He was just asking like sensible questions. When can I take you out for a date? So I thought, okay, let me give this guy a chance. And we started dating one time now. He exposes himself. He starts talking about sex. And I tell him, I'm not that kind of a person. I don't have sex. Like, in the shortest time. I have to get to know you. We have to get to know each other. And even if we get to know each other, I just don't want to expose myself like that and start having sex. If you really want to be with me and you genuinely want to be with me and you genuinely want to date me, I'll kindly ask if we can just date. Then when the right time comes, we can have sex. But I would like to have sex with you when we get married. That's what I told him. Since you're really serious about me, I asked him like, what time frame do you think we can give ourselves before we get married? And he tells me. So I'm like, that's a very short time frame. So wait, then you have sex with me. And he's like, no, if two people love each other, we can have it. And I was just like, this guy is a phony. He's just like any other guy. So I stopped now entertaining him. I stopped responding, and he kept on texting me and texting me. And then, when someone is texting you and they're not responding, they end up exposing themselves. So he got angry. He started sending me like bitter messages. And I actually discovered this guy was actually a pastor. And then I texted him, I was like, you're actually a man of God, but the things that you say and the things that you want to do are just not, tallying with the person that you claim to be. And he got annoyed. I was like, but you know that every human has needs. So I just cut this dude off. So that finding a partner thing went down the drain as well. I was also trying to do mini businesses. Remember when I said when you're setting up a business, you need resources? I didn't have these resources. I'm good at crocheting outfits, but I needed to like purchase things like yarn. I needed hooks so that I could crochet those outfits. So I had some old wigs, and I'm also good at doing hair. So I figured, you know what, these wigs that I have, let me make them into wigs. So I bought wig caps. At least wig caps are affordable. By that time, I think they were 20 kwacha, 25 kwacha. I bought wig caps and I made wigs and I advertised those wigs. And it wasn't easy. I thought after making the wigs, they would sell like maybe the same day or maybe the same week. Guys, the first time I sold my wig was after 6 months. I sold one wig after 6 months, and the rest of the wigs, oh my goodness. So, those mini businesses were also hard. It wasn't like I had revenue to invest in them or buy more things to sell. It was just me selling one of my things that I already owned. It didn't work out, that business. And then the crocheting business, since I didn't have any funds like to order yarn and start crocheting the outfits, I just advertised to people to say, if you wanna like have a certain outfit made, like book me, but you'll have to buy your own yarn, then I'll just charge you for labor. That was my plan. And I got some responses, but people were saying, you're too expensive. And I was like, guys, I'm using my labor. I'm using my own hands to crochet these outfits. It's not an easy thing, and it wouldn't be fair on me as well. Like, imagine I crochet an outfit maybe for the whole week, and then I charge you 100 kwacha. That doesn't make sense. So people are complaining like, no, that's too expensive. And actually, the outfits they were asking for were complicated outfits. Like, imagine a 2-piece outfit, and it's very long, and someone expects you to charge them at a cheap price. One of my good friends knew the predicament I had put myself into. So this friend suggested, because I asked this friend to say, if you can help me, like, let me come where you are. This friend was in another continent. I'm not going to mention the continent. So this person suggested that we try out some things because they weren't like ready financially to help me travel like from Zambia and go to where they were. So they gave me suggestions, because there's things like au pairing, where you become, here in Zambia, I think I would call it being a maid. But if you're those ends, it's not really a maid, because according to the tasks, how they were being described, I think the terms and conditions were good compared to how maids are treated in Zambia. Anyways, I just feel like it depends with the family that you would end up with. But I would say au pairing is more like you being a house help. But the pay was very good. Like you could even save to take yourself to school or to even just buy anything. The pay was good. It's not like the way it is in Zambia here where you're a house help and you're getting paid, let's say 1,000 kwacha. The pay was very good. Like very, very good. I would have managed to get myself an apartment and all those things. Yes, she suggested au pairing, that I apply for that program. So au pairing, you had to stay with the family that picks you, and you had to help out just with certain tasks, not everything. And mostly, most of the families would just ask you to cook dinner, and that's it. Others would want you just to take care of their kids, and that's it. So you see how different it is, like with house helps here in Africa. So it was going to be like a fancy kind of house help. Then she also suggested that I apply for school. And at the time, the scholarships were free. If I tell you that the time when I finally got accepted at a certain school in that continent, they introduced tuition fees, and I was like, is this the devil? Like, the devil is seeing me struggling, and then they just decided to put tuition fees. I was so depressed, but I got accepted at one of the schools in that continent. And the other thing that she suggested is that I apply for jobs, which I did. I think that was it. And the other thing she suggested was that she would also try, like on her end, to work on getting me there. That's what happened, guys. Before I found my job, that's how I started spiraling about how hard my situation was, and I tried these things that I've talked about. Imagine. Pardon my lighting, guys. It's rain season, so it's cloudy today, and the lighting is just not lighting. But thank you so much for watching. Share, comment, subscribe, and like my video, and comment. Like, have you ever been in a tough situation before, and what is it that you resorted to? What lessons did you learn? That's what happened. Thank you guys for watching.